name is chanted during the mantra and during the offerings to Devi Parashakti. So as you can see here, it's a very simple form, and you can just fill out your names, your information, and you'll be ready to go. Yes. So as you can see here now, if you are interested in making an offering, but you might not have the resources at the moment, you might not have the money or the time or any kind of resource at the moment to make an offering, then you can fill out this registration form and ensure that you are signed up, and you can get more details. You can get more details for the payments, or you can sign up for receiving notifications as soon as there are openings for new offerings. And for every different festival, for and so many different occasions, new offerings are opened up and different ways that you can express your gratitude. So it's always available for each and every one of you to fill out, as you can see. And you can make your intention today and start taking the steps towards literally manifesting your oneness with Devi Parashakti through this way. Yes. And now briefly, let's go over how you can make a donation through the e-hundi or through the YouTube super chat. So once you are on YouTube, you should be able to join the Kailasa's SATSANG Nithyananda YouTube channel. And once you are joined as a member of the YouTube channel, then you can go to the right-hand corner of the chat, and then there'll be a $sign. You press that, and you can choose the YouTube super chat or the YouTube super sticker, and you'll be able to see exactly what you want, what kind of donation you want to make, and it'll help you proceed with the next steps. You can either pay through credit card, debit card, and there's also an option to pay through PayPal. So if that is an option for you and that's more easier for you, then this is the way to go to make an offering today. So yes, now we are starting the live satsang, and we're going to be preparing for the live satsang, which is happening in just a few hours. And I'm sure many of you are tuning in right now and eagerly awaiting the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Let's briefly go over the different questions you can ask. And during this time, during the live satsang, you can ask questions directly to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And out of his grace, compassion, he might just answer you directly during the live satsang. So we can go back to the previous slide. Let's start with YouTube. And as I was saying, the chat is open to anyone who is a member of the YouTube channel. So you can go to Kailasa's SATSANG Nithyananda YouTube channel, as you can see here, and go to the official YouTube channel and join as a member. There's just a few step process to join as a member of the YouTube channel, and then you can ask any kind of question in the comments section. So as you can see, you can ask your questions there, and it'll be scrolling through. Many people will be commenting. You don't need to ask your question more than once, and you can always ensure that you're asking your question out of complete sincerity for the further and guidance for your spiritual journey. I know many of you have questions about conscious sovereignty, how to manifest it in your life. What are the different ways, and maybe perhaps some of the obstacles that you are finding? You can ask your questions in the comments section, and yes, you can ask your questions in the comment section, And you can also ask for prayers and request for the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism during this time as well. Yes, let's go on to the next slide. The next option that we have here is the Facebook page. So make sure that you are liking and following Kailasa's SPH JGM Nithyananda Paramashivam Facebook page. This is the official Facebook page of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And you can go here and make sure that you never miss an announcement for the live satsang. Like right now, we just announced it. And make sure that you don't miss the live satsang. We will be continuously giving updates. And as soon as it is live, as soon as it is announced, there will always be a post that is given out. And so to ensure that you don't miss it, and even if you do miss it, in any case, perhaps you're commuting or you are at work or whatever it is, you can always go back and watch the satsang or the darshan again. So make sure that you're liking and following. And if you want to ask your questions during the live Nithyananda satsang, which is happening in just a few hours, you can ask your questions in the comment section down below of this live video. Yes, the next slide. Let's go on to Twitter. Many of us are spending our time on Twitter, so you can go ahead and follow at Sri Nithyananda, which is the official handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on Twitter, and ask your questions by hitting reply to the live feed on Twitter using the hashtag #AskTheAvatar. And you can, in the same thread, reply and ask your questions to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Yes, and the next slide, please. We also have the official handle on Instagram, so you can ask your questions in the comment section in the Instagram post, and ensure that you are following Sri Nithyananda on Instagram. That's the official handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And ask your questions in the comment section of the post for this live satsang. The next slide, please. Finally, you might not be social media savvy, or you might not have any social media presence right now. So you can ask your questions through WhatsApp. So there is a WhatsApp widget on kailasa.org. You can connect with us on WhatsApp, and your questions will be relayed to Devi Parashakti herself during the Devi BHAVA Samadhi Darshan. As well, during the live satsang, they will be displayed in front of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and your question might just be answered by the SPH himself. And there's also an option on the website to ask through the live chat. That's another option that you have as well, with if you do not have WhatsApp. So that brings us to a conclusion of this segment in today's program. And let us enrich the whole humanity with the news that the live satsang will be happening within a few minutes. And you'll see how this time just flies by, and we're going to be eagerly awaiting the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism before you know it. In the next segment, we'll be going over the updates from the representatives from the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham, the Adi Kailasa ship, which was literally built over the last 2 decades by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in order to help the whole humanity literally sail through this pralaya. So joining with us now is a representative from the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham in order to share with us about the updates from the multi-layer quarantine center that is open in Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham, as well as 13 other Adhinam monasteries in India, to help find and mitigate the extreme effects of the pandemic that is ongoing currently in India. Yes, so this brings us to a conclusion of this segment. We'll now be proceeding on with the next segment in today's program after a very quick break. Yes, sorry for that technical glitch. We'll now be proceeding into the next segment. We have Ma Dayame Swami ready and joining with us right now in order to give us the latest updates from the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnya Peetham on the multi-layer quarantine campus and the Kailasa Center, which is open now, right, as a practical solution for the ongoing COVID pandemic.
Thank you, Ma Sadashivapriya, Nithyanandam, everyone. So let us enter into the next segment. So from the Kailasa's multi-layered quarantine opportunities in India during the COVID-19 as a practical solution resulting in health, joy and bliss. With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam blessings, Kailasa Department of Enlightened Civilization presents. So let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Akashic readings from the Devi Parashakti. On various occasions, Devi revealed that due to the pandemic, how the world is going to suffer with especially the mental issues. And the state of the world reports across the world confirming the same. So on revelations to the world by Devi Parashakti on 5th June 2021, and Devi revealed that not only people dying in crores, financial and mental retardness, you will also see the minds getting collapsed. Freedom from all this suffering is the life of living enlightenment. First, prevent yourself from this deadly corona. Oh, people, do the job of saving your life as first priority. Listen properly, people. The only way to protect yourself from this overflowing cosmic pralaya and from the demonic people who search for destruction for themselves and for others because of pralaya, go to Adi Kailasa, getting shelter at the feet of Paramashiva. Save yourself from corona and death, economic crisis and mental collapse that is formed because of corona. Save yourself and move towards living enlightenment. Move toward Paramashiva Paramporul, doing yoga and tapas. Doing seva to all the devotees of Paramashiva, live a good life. Just for that, I have opened the doors of Adi Kailasa. For those in the universe, not only human beings, as even siddhas, jnanis, and yogis have come and doing penance in Adi Kailasa. For everyone who come, goodness, prosperity, jnanam, and yogam will overflow. Do not have fear, bliss is there. Do not have worry, I will protect with goodness. Just for that, I have opened the doors of Adi Kailasa. For all those in the universe, and not only human beings, as even siddhas, jnanis, and yogis have come and are doing penance in Adi Kailasa. For everyone who come, goodness, prosperity, jnanam, and yogam will overflow. Do not have fear, bliss is there. Do not have worry, I will protect with goodness. Happiness is there. Enlightenment is there. Do not have fear, bliss is there. I am solving sufferings. I am the Samayapurattu Kannattal who comes and helps at the right time. Revelations about the mental health issues by Devi Parashakti on 5th June 2021. We just saw the glimpses of that. Now, and the media articles confirming the same on 6th June 2021. The psychiatric symptoms like depression, anxiety exhibited by the COVID 19 patients, according to a new study, neurological symptoms like depression and anxiety are also showing to be the common in those who have contracted COVID 19, even in more mild cases. The revelations about mental health issues by Devi Parashakti on 5th June 2021 and media article confirming the same on 8th June 2021. The impact of COVID 19 on the mental health of US college students, BMC Psychology published online on 2021 June 8th. Its results indicate that on students closer to graduating facing increased levels in anxiety about 60.8% and feeling of loneliness about 54.1% and depression of 59.8%. Many reported worries for health of loved ones most impacted their mental health status about 20%, and the need to take care of family most affected current and future plans 31.8%. Almost one half of students took to exercising and other measures. Revelations about the mental health issues by the Devi Parashakti on 5th June 2021 and the researchers confirming the same on 10th June 2021. The rates of anxiety and depression among college students continue to soar, researchers say. Researchers at the Dartmouth College, who have tracked the moods and behaviors of about 200 college students for 4 years, say the stress levels are at their highest. Research by the Lauren Lumpkin revealed on June 10th, 2021. The Dartmouth College students began tracking 217 students when they entered the school as freshmen in 2017 in the hopes of understanding how they behave, and they have seen students' stress levels rise and fall, usually in tandem with midterm and final exams. But since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, the rates of depression and anxiety have soared and have showed no signs of coming down, said the Andrew Campbell, a researcher and computer science professor. The Psychology Today published that coronavirus, the psychological trauma and PTSD event. Much has been said about the mental health crisis that is occurring related to the coronavirus pandemic. Much of this information has focused on the all consuming anxiety, panic, and fear that many are experiencing. While this is important and needs to be at the forefront of discussions, something that has not been discussed in the psychology traumatic nature of what our nation and our world and is experiencing. The increased prevalence of post traumatic stress disorder is expected to emerge as the primary factor driving the growth of the global post traumatic stress disorder PTSD therapeutics market over the period of assessment revealed that global post traumatic stress disorder, that is PTSD therapeutic market, which what used to be in as the 2099 what it used to be and the how much billion-dollar used to be, and it's going to be 11% increase in 2027. The CNN published that there is a high prevalence of mental distress and countries across the globe due to the coronavirus pandemic, especially among healthcare workers and children. According to the United Nations and the World Health Organization, the impact of the pandemic on people's mental health is extremely concerning. The World Health Organization Director, General Tedros Adhanom, said in a news release recently. The news articles continue revealed more on the mental health of public, that it is now crystal clear that mental health needs must be treated as a core element of our response to and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, Tedros said. Yoga improves mental, spiritual, and physical health. People who practice yoga experience less anxiety, less depression, and fewer symptoms of post traumatic stress disorder. Yoga also improves well being, including increased gratitude, relatedness, acceptance, centeredness, empowerment, and self esteem, the compassion and self awareness, and hope. Yoga can help us to manage stress and self regulate, an important tool in the current time. We are all equipped with the innate coping of strategies for responding to stress, but sometimes our stress responses can become out of balance. We are living in a world that regularly activates our sympathetic response, that is, our body's way of responding to stress, sometimes called flight or fight. This is balanced by our parasympathetic response, the way our body helps us rest and relax. Yoga can help bring our parasympathetic response back online and allow us to find balance. Activating our parasympathetic response brings us into a more restful space and allows us to find calmness, connection, and compassion. The deep mindful breathing of yoga and meditation stimulates the vagus nerve, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system and supports self regulation and stress management. Yoga can be a valuable tool for self care, especially in challenging times. Yoga is now being used as an empirically based treatment, often in combination with other interventions, with benefits for both physical and mental health. Many clinicians are recommending yoga as it may help support the effectiveness of the traditional treatment approaches. Psychology Today published that when we actively choose a tool of self care, we better equip ourselves to survive and seek resilience in different circumstances. While it is but one tool, yoga offers the potential for connection and well being, even in those challenging times. Spirituality benefits mental health. Research show that individuals have better mental health if they belong to a particular community or have religious beliefs. Spirituality can help people in many ways. First and foremost, spirituality or religion can help find meaning in their lives, which is instrumental in improving one's mental health. Spirituality can perhaps help you connect with your divine self. In addition to endowing meaning to your life, it has the potential to improve mental, physical, and emotional well being as well. It has been a source of relief and comfort from various challenging issues for thousands of years. Revelations to the world by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam on 22nd May 2021. Paramashiva is very clear. Focus on making your body alive, life alive. Mind is obsessive compulsive reaction. It is nothing but a bunch of unconscious reactions. Do not try to sympathize with the mind. Make your body alive, and that is the only priority for all of you. I am talking to everyone who has a little love and sympathy for me. For all of you, take this as a guru walk and make your body consciously strong. Gym will help you build muscles, make you look very nice in the outside, but only yoga and Ayurvedic lifestyle will make your body conscious. Just see all over the world, all the gym bodies are just dropping dead. Only yoga will make your internal organs strong and your ability to manifest consciousness strong. Let me give you the solution from Paramashiva to protect yourself from this whole pralaya, not just from corona. The amount of depression, mental stuff, suffering, the way the whole world is suffering, the kind of poverty happening, people losing their job, income, having insecurity, comforts being lost. So much just make your life extremely strong. 3 years back, I said, keep yourself alive next 3 years. I have enough evidence that 3 years back, trained I trained the whole Kailasa with devotees in their own homes, and the Kailasa was inside the Sangha physically, mentally, psychologically, or consciously for quarantine lifestyle. For being active without getting mentally broken by being in one place, doing intense yoga, making the body and internal organs strong, taking bay leaf, neem juice, tulsi, and haritaki, trifala churna, and Ayurvedic lifestyle of less food and more energy, more activism. I only told it is for an important reason. Please wake up, quarantine yourself, build your body. Don't bother about your business or any other profit or anything else. This year, if you are alive, that is the greatest profit. Now, all the efforts of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to um, combat the COVID-19 and how he prepared the Adinavasis, how he prepared all the ecosystems of Kailasa and successfully implemented the multi-layer quarantine, and a report is recognized by the United Nations. The Kailasa's report on COVID-19 and the multilateralism has been recognized by the United Nations recognizes this. So you can see the screenshot from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's Facebook page. You can see more screenshot from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism Facebook page. You can go ahead and click on that link of this article and read the complete article yourself. The report published by the OHCHR about the Kailasa's report has led the world to be as resilient as the least resilient country and person, especially for high contagious COVID-19, which has spread with scale and severity not seen since the Spanish flu. The variants of this virus, such as the B.1.617 Delta Epsilon Gamma, continue to threaten even those vaccinated. Secondary diseases such as black fungus are targeting COVID patients and killing almost 1 in 2% in such cases. Human life is precious and important than all economic principles or systems in totally, because all these concepts are legitimate only because of their utility value, which is fundamentally make human life better. At least until this ongoing crisis ends, all the economic policies related to money, banking, fixing prices of commodities, etc., needs to be revised to make sure no human being suffers from hunger or the absence of required medical care. For this purpose, Kailasa has presented a detailed report on effective solution for COVID-19 through multilateralism that was published by the UN. This breaking news, the report we're going to present now, the the earlier reports recognized by UN are reports on the rights of the indigenous and women and girls. And the second report, which was published by the UN and recognized by the UN, a report on femicide. Now let us see this breaking news, the report published by the United Nations, the COVID-19 and multilateralism, a report by the Adi Shaivite Minority Tradition, ASMT, Hindu Community Kailas Union in the month of June 2021. The introduction key factors are globalization of disease has led the world to be only as resilient as the least resilient country and person, especially for highly contagious COVID 19, which has spread with a scale and severity not seen since Spanish flu. The variants of virus, such as the B1617 Delta and Delta plus Epsilon Gamma, continue to threaten even those vaccinated. Secondary diseases such as black fungus are targeting COVID patients and killing most of the patients. Second, distorted policy decisions and conflicting principles can lead to polarizations amongst the nations and within, leading to various extremes, such as the hoarding of vaccines in some places, the wastage of vaccines in others, and an unaddressed shortage of vaccines globally. The pandemic has exposed to fragility of the global system. The disruption of the supply chain is especially worrisome for essential food supplies, which disappropriately, disproportionately affects the already most vulnerable situation. The lockdowns have brought the global economy into crisis, bringing recessions and worsening employment rates. The frequent lockdowns and the ongoing threats of famine, especially in countries where employment is predominantly informal, are exacerbating worries that starvation may cause more suffering than the virus itself. Far more from the SDG to zero hunger. The number is now predicted to come close to 1 billion. You can see the supporting articles which were published, which was submitted and published by the United Nations. Now, as per Hindu principles, the world, including the economy, evolves through 5 phases: the creation or growth, sustenance or stagnation, recession or revitalization, reinvention, and breakthrough. As per Hinduism, conventional economic growth is observed when best practices are applied diligently. However, during times of crisis, lead us to the fourth and fifth phases, wherein the need to reinvent and deliver a breakthrough becomes both a survival need and an opportunity to surpass any means and measures of conventional economic growth. According to the key nations, increased public expenditure during the Great Depression of 1929 improved economy. However, the government never completely gave up trying to balance the budget, which resulted in it never spending enough to bring the economy of recession until the Second World War. Similarly, the current crisis requires governments to temporarily discard, try to balance the economic interests that compromise quarantine, safety, and put human life at risk, and rather reinvent their economic strategies and multilateral coordination for benefiting during the subsequent breakthrough period after the end of the crisis. The Hindu multilateralism, there is an immense inequality in the capacities of the governments, organizations, and people in the two groups. The first one is a health response, and the second one is economic recovery. Surviving the highly contagious COVID 19, where the world is only as resilient as the least resilient country, and the person requires governments, organizations, and people to collectively address the crisis. From the 3200 BCE 21, 56 nations in Asia had multilateral treaties based on the Hindu principle, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is, the entire world is my family. You can see the reference articles here. It provides the sustainable community livings with multi-layered quarantine. Home or self-quarantine is not a viable a solution for a vast majority of people for either health safety or economic reasons. In Assam, one of the state in India, home quarantine has been reported to be primary reason for a large number of deaths. In some policies, in some places, governments have moved people out of home quarantine to COVID care centers. Other issues linked with quarantine, especially in some houses, are mental health problems, such as an increase in suicidal ideation, especially amongst the younger population. This requires friendly quarantine setups which are self sustained and sufficient in terms of food stock and supplies, recreation, employment, education, etc. In India, state governments have attempted to provide free and paid solutions with um, face various challenges related to hygiene, exorbitant pricing. Some facilities have seen challenges related to requests for private accommodation. Experimental townships such as Auroville have demonstrated a fair amount of success in creating a friendly, safe, and compliant quarantine facility. However, solutions such as Auroville are not open to the public. For 2 decades, the leader of the ASMT Hindu community, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, had been creating townships like Araville across more than 100 cities in several countries. Most of these townships, such as the ASMT Monastery, India, Bangalore, have been opened to offer multi layer quarantine as a free public service with free food and accommodation, the free internet to work from the home monastery. The ASMT community has seen a fair amount of success in these townships with zero reported cases of COVID infection in the past 2 years and has already saved many lives. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam, has urged citizens worldwide, especially from the regions severely affected by the pandemic, to protect themselves as the topmost priority and avail these free quarantine facilities that the community has created, especially as home quarantine has failed for many and is known to be a primary reason for a large number of deaths in many scenarios. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam, has emphasized the need and urged the government worldwide to provide food, safety, medical care, shelter, and all survival needs to all human beings under their care, with absolute multi-layer quarantine until the coronavirus is eliminated from planet Earth, including all different strains of the virus. You can see the supporting articles here. Educate citizens in individual pandemic management. Unlike previous pandemics, the current era provides an active, real-time, and visual information about the facilities, about the fatalities. Underreporting of this data may give false hope and make people reckless. Exaggerations in reporting can also make people reckless and they may feel eventual deaths due to a coronavirus is inevitable. Proper education is extremely crucial as it will dramatically reduce the as it will dramatically reduce the number of deaths and reduce the challenge of death healthcare systems. Alcohol related deaths have hit a high record during this pandemic, and the long post lockdown liquor lines are some extremely worrisome issues regarding which people need to be educated as a top priority. People need to be given confidence in their life and security about their future for them to stop behaving recklessly or fall into depression and commit suicide. Leveraging the best of the different economic systems based on charity, barter, and money. Ancient Hindu economic treatises by Paramashiva, primordial Hindu divinity, describe three kinds of economic systems and their principles. The first one, the for things do not perish by sharing, such as education and knowledge. Paramashiva recommends that no fee be charged. And second, for survival needs such as food and healthcare, barter and charity are recommended. Third, for other infrastructure, all other infrastructure development works, services, and commodities, gold and environmental currency based transactions are allowed. These systems are still in practice in modern day, but the grossly overlooked and not sufficiently studied with their close relation to mainstream economics. The World Health Organization and the GS, GISAID provided early aspects to data regarding the virus. This is an example of an open knowledge based economic policy where the critical data about the virus was not monetized. Similarly, South Korea helped the USA access mass and testing kits. And there was a hope that this would lead to a reciprocal arrangement in terms of vaccines, which is like a barter-based model allowed in food and healthcare. Hindu policies for food security. A highly effective concept for ensuring food security in ancient Hindu nations was that of food grain banks. These were prevalent until the 18th century. The elderly in villages would start food grain banks with a seed capital of grains collected by the fundraising. If any person met with a crisis such as a crop failure, the food grain bank would lend him grains in exchange for an interest. Compound interest was prohibited in grain banks. which the debtor was expected to return with the principal grain amount during the next harvest. The bank would expand its reserves of food grains based on the interest earned and donations. At the time of severe crisis as a famine, the entire village would be able to withdraw these grains, and if required, all such grains loans would be written off on humanitarian grounds. In Hindu temples, food is shared for free as a priority. This was the case in both ancient times and in the modern times. For 27 years, every month, the Hindu ASMT community has served more than 3 million free organic meals in religious gatherings to everyone without discrimination, and has served for over 1 billion free meals in total. Such private and public efforts are crucial to ease the threats of starvation, which is estimated to hit a billion people worldwide. Monitor global health. The crisis requires the governments to take aggressive, proactive measures to monitoring health. The smartphone applications have been used by government that are based on health code health code color systems that categorize individuals into three color groups based on their health status and travel history, and then determine whether they need to be quarantined. You can see the supporting articles as part of the document that was submitted. The, uh, the traditional medicine in Hinduism, nature and planet are respected as the living divine mother energies capable of providing us with all our survival needs, the food, medicines, etc. Through traditional medicines such as TCM and Ayurveda are effective in addressing COVID related issues. And the few years ago, a Nobel Prize was awarded to scientific work based on traditional medicines. The mainstream Western medicine has chosen to characterize the Ayurveda as a pseudoscience and TCM as unscientific. The traditional medicines in Hinduism, nature and planet Earth are respected as living divine mother energies capable of providing us with all our survival needs, the food, medicines, etc. Through traditional medicines such as TCM and Ayurveda are effective in addressing COVID related issues. A few years ago, a Nobel Prize was awarded for scientific work based on traditional medicine in mainstream Western medicine has chosen to characterize Ayurveda as pseudoscience and TCM as unscientific. Such demeaning of traditional medicine systems have led nations to consider taking defensive unilateral decisions to protect with their interest. The outright rejection of traditional medicine is not wise, and such policies should be revisited, especially as these medicinal systems are time tested and have kept people healthy for several generations. Kailas Union recommends governments worldwide provide solutions like Kailasa's Hindu medicinal care, which includes completely free of charge services such as Ayurveda, yoga, Siddha, and Western medicines, and the multi layered quarantine for complementing their ongoing public health efforts. You can see some of these articles here, the supporting articles. So everyone should be provided access to traditional healthcare systems free from policies that are prejudicial and discriminatory towards these systems. The creation of food grain bank systems and other traditional economic systems, as described in this report, would help the most vulnerable people of the world. You can see the supporting documentation here. So join now and protect protection in these production centers. Register now through the link below https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. We'll be right back with you after a short break. Now let us see the Kailasa's Department of Enlightened Civilization presents the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies, COVID care protection centers, which have successfully implemented and running by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let us see some more statistics. Across the world, the younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder during the COVID-19 pandemic. The young adults who are ages at 18 to 24 are at the most affected of these anxiety and depressive disorder, which is 56.2%, and the ages 25 to 49, 48.9, and ages 50 to 64 of 39.1%, and ages 65 about 29.3%. The average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety disorder and or depressive disorder published on January to June 2019, what it used to be 11%, now increased to, in just 1 month of January 2021, the household pulse survey increased to 41%. Share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder during the COVID-19 pandemic by age. The age is 18 to 24, 56.2, and ages are 25 to 49, 48.9, and adults ages 50 to 64, 39.1%, and adults age 65 plus are 29.3%. So how are you feeling? What employees say they feel more than half the time at work. 34% of the employees say tired. 34% say they are stressed, burnt out. 27% say they are burnt out, and 22% say discouraged, and 19% say they distracted, and 17% say they are depressed. So, COVID 19 is a significant stressor for most Americans. Nearly 8 in 10 say the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of stress in their life. Nearly 7 in 10, that is 67%, say they have experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. 1 in 4 essential workers, that is 25%, diagnosed with the mental health disorder since the start of pandemic. The COVID-19 could exacerbate doctors' existing mental health burden. More than 60,000 US healthcare workers have contracted COVID 19 and 300 have died. Of the healthcare workers who treated patients during China's COVID 19 outbreak, 50% showed signs of depression and 45% showed signs of anxiety, according to preliminary research. Self-reported mental health among pregnant women, new mothers. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the depression, what it used to be 15%, now during the COVID-19 pandemic, it increased to 40.7%. And the anxiety, what it used to be before COVID-19 pandemic, 29%, now during the COVID-19 pandemic, it increased to 72%. The US cases of depression have tripled during the COVID 19 pandemic. A large study finds a dramatic increase in the number of adults in the United States reporting symptoms of depression during the COVID 19 pandemic. The number of adults experiencing depression in the US have tripled. According to a major study, researchers estimate that more than 1 in 4 US adults now report experiencing symptoms of depression. Before the pandemic, 8.5 of US adults reported being depressed. That number has risen to 27.8 as the country struggles with COVID 19. US cases of depression, the burnt out, the COVID-19's impact on mental health, the young workers hit the hardest. Ages 22 to 25 reports 89%, literally practically everyone. Ages 26 to 37, 83%, and ages 38 to 54, about 73%, and ages 55 to 74, about 62%. Now let us see the Kailasas, the contributions from the Kailasa Department of Human Services with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Kailasa Department of Religion and Worship, the Department of Human Services, and each of the Kailasa's temple ecosystems consider the right of happiness to be the highest fundamental right of all humans in fact, all beings. The ultimate goal for Hinduism and Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness the Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the material and spiritual well being and prosperity of humanity. Kailasa is a place where the everything related to super consciousness is revived. All the sampradayas, all the spiritual ecosystems created for enlightenment will be revived and established in such a way it never gets lost again. Therefore, they are there forever serving the humanity. Let us see some of the glimpses how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revived the temple ecosystems across the globe. So let us see some of these glimpses from the Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham. The pictures that you're seeing are taken on 21st October 2006, following a meditation under the sacred banyan tree. The Adi Kailasa, the peacekeepers of Kailasa, along with the children of the Nithyananda Gurukul, celebrate the auspicious occasion of the Deepavali. The peacekeepers of Kailasa and participants of the Paramashivoham meditation workshop take part in the celebrations of a traditional flag hoisting ceremony, which is the picture is taken on at the Adi Kailasa, Bidadi, Bangalore, on 22nd November 2018. You're seeing the pictures on where you find the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducting the Nithyananda Spurana Convention, which is also called the Live Bliss Program Level 2, a meditation workshop, Chennai, India, where you find so many thousands are attending this program. The pictures that you're seeing are from where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducting the Nithyananda Spurana Convention Live Bliss Program Level 2 at the St. Peter's Engineering College, Chennai, India. The picture is taken on 17th December 2016, where you find the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself conducting the program, and thousands of devotees are watching this. Now the picture that you are seeing are the temple ecosystem of Tirunamalai serves as the driving factor in maintaining the lifestyle of health, wealth and well-being for citizens of Tirunamalai, one of the remaining living temple ecosystems. With this picture are taken on 20th December 2011. The pictures that you're seeing are taken at Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham, Bidadi, Bangalore on 31st December 2018. The peacekeepers of Kailasa and participants of Paramashivoham meditation workshop take part in morning meditation and the traditional puja or ritualistic worship. The pictures that you're seeing are again from Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham. The peacekeepers of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, take part in Karaseva, the voluntary contribution of physical service towards the cleaning or construction of the sacred Hindu temples. The pictures are taken from 11th September 2016. Now you are seeing the picture of the Kailasa's ecosystems around the world, which are spread across the continents. Starting from 1994, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism tirelessly worked to establish the Kailasa's temple ecosystems. In 1994, where Mataji Vibhudanandapuri, that is traditionally passed on to the hands of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, that is Kailasa in Tiruvannamalai. The picture that you're seeing, the right side, is the the Kailasa in Tirunamalai at 20 in the year 2017, receiving visitors and delegates for the Kalpataru meditation workshop and Shivadiksha. Kailasa in Tiruvannamalai, thousands arrived to celebrate the enlightenment ecosystem and to traditionally meet the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, on 11th March 2017. Now you are seeing the pictures are from the Western Hemisphere, where the Kailasa in Los Angeles, California, USA, as a 25,000 square foot temple complex housing over 80 plus deities. It is one of the largest Hindu temple ecosystems of the West. From the Kailasa, the first temple established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism outside 9 months. The chief presiding deities of the temple are Nithyanandeshwara, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Kailasa in Seattle, Washington, form of Ganesha. And the largest living. Now you're seeing the pictures are from Kailasa in San Jose, Nithyananda Paramashiva actors are from Kailasa in sorry for the technical glitch. The Kailasa in Phoenix, Arizona, home to over 21 deities and with the temple structure of 2,500 square feet, Kailasa in Phoenix has been directly established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, serving as an energy field of worship, meditation, and celebration for over 7 years. The Kailasa in Houston, Texas, they formally inaugurated in 2017. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has declared Kailasa in Houston as the Parihara Sthala for all the Navagraha doshas. Kailasa in Toronto, Canada, inaugurated on July 2011. Kailasa in Toronto is the only Hindu temple in the West with all the 63 Naimanas and the 18 Siddhas residing as deities. The temple deities here are seated in exactly as they existentially preside in Kailasa around the Paramashiva, the primordial deity of Hinduism. Some more pictures are from Kailasa in Toronto, Canada. Active and alive. From 2011 onwards, Kailasa in Toronto has been blessed to radiate the super consciousness energy of Kailasa. This temple ecosystem goes on providing various temple services to the community, such as Annadan and traditional Hindu ceremonies. Now, let us see how the morning spiritual routine and the enlightenment ecosystem with these blessings of the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, how these are successfully implemented in these de facto ecosystems of Kailasa, and the participants are getting the shifts after practicing these morning spiritual routine and various other practices, the shift in their physical, mental, and overall well-being. On 12th May 2021, I came as Nija Avatar. Devi Parashakti revealed on 12th May 2021 that I came as Nija Avatar. I am blessing you. Listen. People, listen. To do good to all of you, I have taken the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nija Avatar. People of India, listen. Carefully listen. Time after time, Bharatam is Jnana Bhumi, where enlightened being comes. We cannot make Jnana Bhumi as infertile. Enlightened beings have to come. They have to live and it has to flower. Few hypocrites, because they are stuck in delusion, we cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save Cosmos from being destroyed, that is called Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect beings from Pralaya is Adi Kailasa. Because of conspiracy of Drohis and enemies' rule, the captain has to leave the ship. Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen, all Aushadas by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navapashana is going to flower. Allow people to come and take dip in Navapashana flower. People, whoever comes and dip in Vaidyasarovar, they will not have death, they will not have corona. Crores and crores of people will come in line. Every day they will take a dip and in Ananda Lingam. On 13th May 2021, Devi continued to reveal that listen well to my words. For India, I made ship as protection. The Nithyananda Navapashana Lingam in Vaidyasarovar. Go to Adi Kailasa, O Indians, listen. All those regretting losing Nithyananda Nija Avatara without confusion and without talking, just as lip service, go to Adi Kailasa. When the first world countries closed their borders during a massive global emergency, Kailasa has opened its door to all without exception. And the breaking news and greatest news is these systems, the Kailasas ecosystems, which are successful in implementing the COVID care protection, are now recognized by the United Nations. Now, let us see the morning spiritual routine in these de facto spiritual COVID care protection centers of Kailasa. Morning spiritual routine is the fuel to reach Kailasa. Morning routine and the chemical changes it brings in you, the healing it does in your system, and the biological rhythm it sets in your system, all of them are very important. It is an important fuel for you to experience the multiple dimensions of the universe. Spiritual routine and integrity to spiritual routine initiations are completely private, personal between you and me. Members of Kailasa's protective, preventive, multi-layered quarantine initiative take part every day in the morning spiritual routine here in Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham. The morning spiritual routine consists of the Nithyananda Yoga, Panchakriya, Nitya Prataksha Paduka Puja, the Kashayams, which is herbal drinks, and the Nitya Satsang. Tune your morning spiritual routine, tune your biological clock to the spiritual practices because the chemistry you enjoy inside matters. That decides the kind of plane of the universe, the dimension of the universe you are going to experience. Kailasa or Patala. The Kailasa is the place, the highest abode where Paramashiva resides. And Patala is where the lowest dimension where the demons live. And Swarga or Naraka. Swarga is the heaven and Naraka is the hell. Morning spiritual routine is the direct path to Kailasa. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, person who is in love will wait to spend time with the beloved. If you are a seeker, you will be waiting for this 5 hours every day because that is the time you get near what you are seeking. A person who is in love will be waiting to spend time with the beloved. A person who is seeking will be waiting to spend this 4 hours because this is the time you get closest to what you are seeking. Your seeking takes shape into the system when your beloved comes near you. If you are tired, the love is gone and dead. During the morning 4 hours, if you are bored, your seeking is dead, gone, and you need to thorough overhauling inside you. You need to ask yourself, you need to question many of your answers. You need to bring pure questioning back to your life. The morning yoga, when you do the yoga, you experience your entire body becoming Amrita Sharira. That means the body filled with the nectar. It becomes an ecstatic body just by the air without any external touch. The Panchakriya, the Panchakriya involves a 5 powerful processes to remove toxins and impurities from the system. Just like how we take a shower every day to clean the external parts of our body, Panchakriya is a powerful cleansing process which cleanses the internal organs of our body, keeping it cool. The techniques not only cleanse our body, just bring peace and balance to our mind and lightness and bliss to our being. The morning puja, you experience the space of bhakti, the devotion, the space of surrender that occurs to you from this devotion moves you from the I, which is so heavy, to God or Guru. This surrender allows us to drop all the unnecessary baggage from the head. One of the beautiful pujas in Hinduism is Rudrabhishekam. In Rudrabhishekam, we offer the sacred bath to Shivalinga while chanting the powerful mantras. The Shivalinga is a deity which beautifully represents the divine. It is from its form indicates how God is beyond form and formless. In puja, we sit down and connect with God by performing Rudrabhishekam. O Sadashiva, O God, I know you are the source of everything. You are everything, and you are in this Shivalinga, and you are in this body. Let me connect with you. Let you let you reveal yourself to me. When we sit in this power, when we sit with that context and do the action of Rudrabhishekam, we experience Bhava Samadhi. Only Bhava Samadhi can give us the higher taste and higher joy in life. Rudrabhishekam is a beautiful ritual which allows us to experience the Bhava Samadhi of Shivoham, that I am divine. In morning spiritual routine, you when you do it sincerely, You manifest Shakti's spiritual powers with morning routine. If you just follow this morning 5 hours enough, you will have Vak Shakti. That is, the whatever you say will become reality. All Shaktis manifesting in you, because all the obstacles for manifesting Shaktis, tiredness, boredom, pitta, fatigue, everything will be churned out in that morning 5 hours. The morning puja is the most powerful mandala process, Shakti Pata, melting your being, and then sitting and listening to the sacred truths, constantly inspiring, engaging, alive, awakening. Just this morning 5 hours. If you can bring integrity and authenticity, all the obstacles stopping you from power manifestation will disappear. You can perform and all the spiritual practices by yourself, like the morning yoga and Nitya Puja, but there will always be the risk of losing your initial inspiration and excitement after a few days and after a few weeks. Living in the enlightenment ecosystem, even if your boredom or tiredness try to pull you down, the Sangha will support you, help you by giving you the wake up call and supporting you to complete your incompletions. In Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we had at least 10,000 sampradayas, religious and spiritual traditions, keeping this enlightenment science alive. Each Hindu sampradaya is a spiritual ecosystem created for keeping enlightenment science alive. Every monastery, every adhinam, every mutt, every temple, every Veda Patashala, every Sarvajna Pita is a lineage. The sampradaya created to keep the ecosystem of spiritual enlightenment alive. Some may be Shakta, some may be Yoga, some may be Vedanta, some may be Tantra, some may be Shakta Vedanta, some may be Shaiva Tantra, some may be Yoga Vedanta, some may be Yoga Shaiva, some may be Vaidika Shaiva, and all kinds of permutation and combination. Each temple, each mutt, each monastery, each adhinam, each Veda Patashala, each Sannyasa Sampradaya is the spiritual ecosystems created to keep the enlightenment science alive of that Sampradaya. Join now these COVID care protection centers and save your life. Register now through the link below, https colon forward slash kailasa.org, KAILAASA, kailasa.org forward slash Kailasa care, KAILASA care, CARE, Kailasa care. So we will continue the next part of the segment and after a short break. I have exciting news where today we are going to have the live satsang, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is going to share the sacred secrets of the conscious sovereignty. Welcome back to the next part of this segment. The live satsang is going to start in few minutes. So let's get prepared. I'm going to project the yes. So we're going to have the live Nithyananda Satsang at 6 a.m. IST on conscious sovereignty in Chaturmasya. Conscious sovereignty not only brings you the freedom, it brings the right purpose for your freedom. Experience the freedom with right purpose through the conscious sovereignty. What is the secret behind the Chaturmasya and conscious sovereignty? Tune into the experience. And I request all the viewers to share this great, exciting news and share this in all your social media platforms. And let us all welcome Swamiji. So before that, we'll continue with our Adi Kailasa step and Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies that are contributing continuous anadan to these all enlightened ecosystems, which is one of the main key factor in the report published and recognizes by the United Nations. Let us understand the importance of the Annadan, that is the free food service, and how successfully the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism implemented the Annadan in all the Kailasa de facto spiritual centers since more than 2 decades. And which is the need of the hour in this global emergency pandemic. The Kailasa Department of Enlightened Civilization presents the multi-layer quarantine COVID care protection centers and the de facto embassies of Kailasa with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Let us understand the need for the, first of all, need for this free food, the Annadan, and how successfully Kailasa has served and been serving and going to serve the Annadanam. And if we see some of these reports, that how the pandemic creating a hunger catastrophe in India. The pandemic has led to increase in global food insecurity, affecting vulnerable households in almost every country. It has exacerbated the exciting inequalities pushing millions of people into the vicious cycles of economic stagnation, loss of livelihood, and worsening of food insecurity. The the statistics says that the World Bank estimates that 71 million people will be pushed into the extreme poverty across the globe as a result of the pandemic. The World Food Program estimates that an additional 130 million people could fall into a category of food insecure over and above the 820 million who were classified as such by the 2019 State of Food Insecurity in the World report. The hunger in plain sight. COVID-19 worsened the plight of food insecurity. More than 50 million people have experienced food insecurity during the pandemic, up from 35 million in 2019, according to the Feeding America nonprofit, the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization. The child malnutrition and hunger skyrocket in Haiti as COVID-19 infections spike. At least 86,000 children are at risk of developing the severe acute child malnutrition this year in Haiti. According to the sources connected to the United Nations Children Fund, the number of children projected to suffer from starvation this year has doubled as the impoverished, the nation continues to grapple with extraordinary political and social crises exacerbated by the pandemic. The refugees are paying the highest price in the COVID-19 pandemic. Vulnerable groups such as refugees are paying the highest price in the COVID-19 pandemic. We are seeing the alarming trends that show many refugees around the world are unable to pay the food or rent and the struggling to access healthcare and education. The price hikes in local markets and further displacement caused by campfires have pushed many families further into food insecurity. During April and May, around 30,000 refugees in the Cox's Bazar camps raised questions and concerns, with 63% seeking services, including urgent food relief and shelter. Just over one third, that is 37%, requested health or medical care. The famine risk spikes and amidst conflict and COVID-19 funding gaps. The number of people treating on the brink of famine has risen from 34 million projected at the beginning of the year to 41 million projected as of June. Without immediate emergency food assistance, they too face starvation as the slightest shock will push them over the cliff into famine conditions. The World Bank releases a report, an analysis of the rising food insecurity rates in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. This report, released on May 20th, 2021, stated that COVID-19 impacts have led to severe to widespread increases in global food insecurity, affecting vulnerable households in almost every country, with impact expected to continue through 2021 and to 2022. It has also stated that the global food prices increased significantly by 38% since January 2020. World Economic Forum, 155 million people are caught up in food crisis of varying severity. About 133,000 people in Burkina Faso, South Sudan, and Yemen are most at risk. 10 countries account for two-thirds of these facing acute hunger. The resilience of agri-food systems are being eroded by conflict, insecurity, and environmental trends. Now, the Kailasas, de facto spiritual embassies, have successfully implemented the free food, the Annadan, to one and all, to over millions of people. And we'll see some of these glimpses now. And the Supreme Pontiff has shared countless number of times on the importance of food. You become what you eat. He has given the countless, the powerful cognitions and the sacred knowledge from the scriptures during the satsangs. And Kailasa has successfully implemented these analayas, established these analayas, which serves the free, organic, vegetarian, sattvic meal for all, eliminating the hunger. The developmental, economic, social, and medical impacts of malnutrition and famine have a critical impact on the individual, familial, and community, national, ultimately on the global level. With the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic triggering an alarming spike in food insecurity, the United Nations have given warnings of famines of biblical proportions. In 2020 alone, 690 million people were estimated to be pushed into food insecurity. The access and availability to organic food has become of utmost importance. Through the Kailasa Department of Agriculture, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has committed to the distribution of free organic food to everyone, not just since the beginning of his public life, but from his very upbringing itself. Now, Kailasas Annalayas across the globe, the food bank established all across the globe, distributes these and serves free vegetarian organic food for people of all caste, creed, religion, race, gender, and social standing. And you see the glimpses of the Kailasa's services, the food free Annadan distributions, and Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself serving the food. He said, I am not giving you any fantasy that it is already become a reality, that we will revive the food supply system of Kailasa. Before you get hungry, food will be ready. Continuous Annadan. You see, find the glimpses of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism serving the free organic sattvic meals, the Annadan, way back from 2002. And you see, while he was recovering from the massive, the fractured hand, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism still continued to serve the Annadan. And see the Pondicherry Thane flood relief, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism serving, and the glimpse of the Kailasas Annalaya's inauguration in Tiruvannamalai, which serves the free meals for thousands of people, and various meditation workshops, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism serving the free sattvic meals. And see more and more glimpses of these free annadans. I can see the various glimpses. Now, the proof of necessity of Annadan, the Bengal famine. In 1943 to 1944, in the man-made famine of Bengal, as per existing records, 3+ million were murdered. The Prime Minister of the world's biggest empire, controlling 1/3 of the mankind, claimed they could not do anything about the people dying of hunger because Hindus bred like rabbits, and the famine was their fault. On the other hand, in Ujjain Kumbh Mela in 2016, the peacekeepers of Kailasa served organic food to over 3+ million people. The peacekeepers of Kailasa, under the leadership of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, served more than 1 billion free meals in that Ujjain Kumbh Mela. Not only that, past 26 years, They are determined to end hunger and poverty in all its forms. Kailasa, with the 200 peacekeepers at any given time, can deliver what even one of the biggest countries could not deliver. The Kailasa delivered. Kailasa is not driven by war, fear, or greed. It is an enlightenment based nation driven by selfless service. So join now in Kailasa's protection, COVID care centers, and save your life and protect yourself from this pandemic. Now it's time we welcome the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, who is going to grace us and in few minutes. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is going to grace us and bless us with the live satsang. He's going to speak on conscious sovereignty, the Chaturmasya. The conscious sovereignty not only brings you the freedom, it brings the right purpose for your freedom, the experience the freedom with right purpose through the conscious sovereignty. What is the secret behind Chaturmasya and conscious sovereignty? Tune into that experience and let us now prepare. Please sit straight. It's time we welcome and prepare ourselves. Please sit straight. Connect with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Have a deep, strong feeling connection and sit with the deep space of gratitude. Intensely connect with him and start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Chant the Mahavakya. Continue to chant the Mahavakya. Sit with the deep space of gratitude to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.